What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of Comically Boston. I'm your host, Big Cam, and Captain America Fox. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We got a lot of news, a lot of details. Kick it off straight away. Sports. Not much in sports. I think hold on, let me check. I think the Pats took an L yesterday. It was opening weekend for the NFL, so you know that is what it is. I saw Tom Brady and the Buccaneers took a victory, 19-3 over the Cowboys. Chiefs beat the Cardinals. Packers lost to the Vikings, 23-7. Giants beat the Titans. Raiders lost to the Chargers. Steelers come out and beat the Bengals. Tie game between the Texans and Colts. Okay. The Commanders, I'm going to call them the Redskins still. I don't find that racist. I just find it the name of their team. I grew up in Tewksbury, where we were the Tewksbury Redmen for the longest time, and not a single Indian or whatever person was on those teams. It was all white guys, and all of us repped those teams with respect and pride. So I don't see it as a problem, but NFL caved and changed the names to the Commanders. Eagles beat the Lions by a field goal. Browns narrowly beat the Panthers by 2. Saints beat the Falcons by 1. Ravens blow out the Jets, of course. Pats lost 20-7. Wow. So we drop one to the Vikings. Start the season 0-1. That ain't cool. And then it looks like Monday Night Football is Broncos Seahawks. So we get to see Russell Wilson go back against his initial team. Sorry. I just wanted to check here at the last video. So 73 of you guys, as of when I'm recording this, have watched this video. 0 comments, 0 likes. So 73 of you are pussies, and none of you liked it, and none of you commented. So who the fuck's watching this, guys? Are you afraid to talk to me? Are you afraid to comment in comment section? Comment below. Let me know how you like the show, huh? Okay, back to the show. I saw UFC, what was it? UFC 279 Saturday night, and it was supposed to be Diaz, Khamzat Chimaev, and it ended up being Diaz-Ferguson, which ended up being a hell of a fight. 4-round brawl, brutal, bloody war between those two. And they really put on a show for the people. So Diaz comes out with the victory because Diaz is Diaz. Submits Ferguson in the 4th round. In the 1st round, Ferguson kicks the hell out of Diaz's shin. Diaz checks the kick, and just like a welt or something, just busts open on Tony Ferguson's shin, and just blood everywhere. So it was just, oh god. If you're not the faint of heart and you don't like seeing blood, that wasn't the the fight to see. Aldana versus Chiasson, the female fight that was in the main card. I really was pulling for the American, but man, that Mexican bitch Aldana really fucking put it on her. I think she tapped her out too. Lee versus Rodriguez. Rodriguez got the split decision. I gave it to the Leech. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gave it to the Leech, but Rodriguez, he took that fight with short notice. So good for him. Comes out with the dub. I did like his tattoos. He had 1986 tattooed right across his chest. Looked like real prison tattoos, but hey, I'm not gonna judge you. And then Khamzat versus Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is a psychopath for taking that fight, and nobody probably in the UFC would have took a 24 hours notice fight for Khamzat Chimaev. So I'd like to honestly see Kevin Holland go back at him again. It just Khamzat just starched him, came in 1st round, grabbed him, slammed him on the ground, got him in a submission, and Kevin, was working out of it, but every time he worked out of it, Khamzat just put him right back in it. So it was like, I think if Kevin survived that 1st round, it would have been an interesting fight, just because it looked like Khamzat was, using all of his energy trying to get him out immediately in the 1st round. But it ended up paying off and working, so Khamzat took the victory over Kevin Holland in the 1st round by submission. and I really wish that fight got to go longer. I wish they just stood up and banged. I wish Mr. Hamzat didn't wrestle and do submission, but hey, if you're gonna win fights, he's winning. I mean, you can't say he's not winning. So, and people hate Hamzat. He's talking a lot of shit. He's like, I will kill everybody, Allah Akbar. Like, you're like, whoa, on live TV or on a pay-per-view? Come on, brother. Like in a stadium full of people, you're gonna get some hate mail. But he doesn't give a fuck. He could kill anybody. So I'm a fan of Hamzat. Hamzat, don't come after me, but whew, golly, folks, I wouldn't want to be them folks. Not much news out of the NBA this week. Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook are both on the Lakers right now, and Russ is very open to a trade. I don't blame him. I don't see them working out together. But like, what's that old saying? My enemy's enemy is my friend. So I don't know. Maybe it could work out, and they could end up being two just menaces to society as the backcourt, front court. I don't know. It's always flip flopped in basketball, but as the 1 and 2 guards, I could see them playing quite well. I'm trying to think of who else the Lakers have. LeBron. I think they still have AD. I don't think they have Rondo. I think they have JaVale McGee. Maybe they got some people over there, but they had Carmelo Anthony last year. And Carmelo is a free agent right now, and I think the Celtics might sign him. As a huge fan of Melo, even back when he was on the Knicks, I went and saw Carmelo play the Celtics in the playoffs in like 2011 or something. And we didn't have very good seats. We're up on the balcony. Went me, my mom, and my cousins. But man, do I remember just like the blue and orange jerseys and the green and white just going at it for that playoff series. And Carmelo, I think, played his fucking ass off with that number 7. So if Carmelo wants to come over to Boston, hey, I'm here for you, brother. I would be here to see it. Also over the weekend was the D23 Expo. If you guys don't know what that is, that's the Disney Expo that took place over the weekend, that had just tons and tons of breaking news, and I wish I could clip things. If you guys know how to take video from something so I can put it into the video here, like play it right here so I can show you guys. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to editing. I wasn't necessarily a computer technology guy. I'm trying my best, but I was a carpenter, so, or a truck driver, and now I'm a photographer, and I use this. So I do a lot of pew, 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 pew. You know, so I don't be doing too much nowadays. You know, just, so if you guys got any help, comment below, DM me, do what you gotta do. If you're not a pussy, like this video, because the rest of you are pussies. So everyone that doesn't like this video is just a huge fag, and that would be you. So yeah, if you're enjoying this, like the video, comment below, say what up, Big Cam. And if you guys got any interesting stories, like, you guys can write in and be anonymous for the most part. I'm telling you guys what it's like to be me and what I'm thinking. So hey, if you guys got something to say and something you guys want to share, by all means comment below. I'll share your stories with the people on here too. This is a platform about the people. I am Big Cam, and I am here for the people. I'm not doing this for anything other than it's something I want to do, and I need a space to share my thoughts. So hey, if you want to be the person here next to me, I was gonna put the puppy there, but he's taking a nap upstairs, so good for him. But the D23 Expo, I'm going to try and run through this as quick as possible, but there was a lot going on. A lot. And I sent pretty much my buddy Lane going, I sent everything in the DM. So I'm pretty much just going to scroll through the DMs and see what we got going here. So, wow, okay, yeah. So let's start with video games, just so I can get through it. The first day of the D23 Expo, they announced video games, and the first one that the biggest one that they announced was the Captain America Black Panther video game, set in World War II, right? So we all know Cap was, you know, frozen in ice, so this is going to be, I guess, pre-frozen in ice, and so it's World War II, and it's not T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, it's his great-great-grandfather, T'Chaka's grandfather. So it's his, or yeah. So it would be T'Challa's grandfather, I think. And he was the Black Panther. And then, so they're going to have 4 characters. I'm pretty sure one is like a Dora Milaje. I'm pretty sure one is like a Howling Commando, which is like Captain America's soldiers. And then one's going to be Black Panther and one's going to be Cap. That's going to be super interesting, I think. I would love to play that game ASAP, though. They did release a little trailer, a little sneak teaser online. If you guys Google that, check that out. Let me know what you guys think down below. Also, over the weekend, or over last week, the new NBA2K came out. And I don't know about you guys, but I spent way too much money on this damn game. I had to buy the MJ edition, of course, because if you don't, your guy's just going to be terrible. So I bought the MJ edition, and then I probably bought at least $20 worth of coins. Oh, God. That and Madden, they just set up the game so that it's not going to be fun unless you buy things. So it's like, I'm pretty tired of Madden. I was playing it for a couple days trying to change my mind. I said it in a couple videos back. I think I'm done with Madden forever. If I ever, because it is football season, if I feel like the mood to play football, I will play this Madden, but I don't think I'm ever going to get a new Madden again unless there's like a new player in the league that like I really want. But most of my favorite NFL players are blasts from the past anyways. Like, 2 of my favorite players, like probably top 3, would be Gronkowski because he was my boy. And then it was like Brady. But if we're not including Pats players, my 2 favorite, Troy Polamalu, Bo Jackson. And it very easily can be switched. I think Bo might be on top, but Troy Polamalu was my guy, the friggin' Tasmanian devil. He had the hair flowing when we were younger. He would make one-handed catches as a defensive player, intercepting the ball that got tipped up. Like, oh, he just liked to play. He was flying around the ball. He was like one of the first guys that was like a strong safety. He'd creep up to the line of scrimmage. They'd say hut, and he'd jump over the center and tackle the QB before he hands off the ball. Like, that guy just was a beast. And then there's people like Adrian Peterson when he was on the Vikings, friggin' Randy Moss when he was on the Vikings, Raiders, Pats, back to the fucking Vikings. I would take Randy Moss any day of the week. He's my definite favorite wide receiver. And then there's people like Megatron. Like, there's just crazy Calvin Johnson. Like, there's crazy players in the NFL. And that are past players like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Like, don't get me started, but there's crazy NFL players that were dope and people's favorite players, and just it feels like the game just came out and they're dropping more and more players as you go, but they're hard to get. They're like 300,000 coins if you want them, and it's like you have no way to be able to get that many coins. Like, if you play all the game modes, you're still not going to have that many coins. So like it's just tough. Like, 2K is a little bit better. I do like that 2K from last year to this year, they upgraded like some of the bugs. They made the city a little bit more nice, a little easier to travel around, I guess. I still don't like that they make you like ride a roller coaster or ride a skateboard or a go-kart back and forth between shit. Like, I wish you could just fast travel like Ghost of Tsushima or Assassin's Creed. Like, the fast travel just is clutch. But yeah, check out that Captain America trailer down below. Let me know what you guys think. That's just, it's some crazy stuff over there. But let me get into some of the other things that they talked about and dropped. Lots of stuff. So there's Star Wars stuff, there's Disney stuff, or there's Marvel stuff. So the first things they dropped was the trailer to Andor. That's coming out, I think it's September. The next Star Wars show, so that's gonna be cool. The new trailer for Willow. I don't know if you guys seen that. Willow, it's an older movie, I think, and this is like a remake. In with that dwarf, what's his name? I hate to say it like that. The little person. He's like the most famous little person, and he was in, and he's not Peter Dinklage. Dionne Warwick. I was trying to remember his name. He's in Willow. He was the main character in the original Willow, and this Willow at least looks better than that one. But I don't know, maybe I'll check that one out. I think Willow's, comment below if you guys know what Willow is. As far as I know, I think it's Star Wars, but it's not. It's like something sci-fi-ish. I don't know. You guys let me know what Willow is. Bad Batch Season 2 confirmed. Will premiere in January. That's not bad. 16 episodes with a 2-episode premiere. The Tales of the Jedi trailer. The Tales of the Jedi looks sick. From what I understand, it's 6 episodes. 3 will focus on baby Ahsoka and her growing up, and then 3 of them will focus on a young Count Dooku. I think it's animated-ish, like live-action animated-ish, kind of like Clone Wars animation, but it's telling like the tales of a Jedi. So it's telling how, I think it's telling how Ahsoka became a Jedi, and then like we see her in the Clone Wars, kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe demote or like reject the Jedi, and like she was like stripped of her Jedi title, and then they wanted her to come back because she was falsely accused, and she was like, man, fuck y'all, I'm better than y'all. So Ahsoka knows what's up. Mandalorian Season 3. Look at the trailer for Mandalorian Season 3. It got me so hyped for this show. I was so ready when I read that shit. I was like, ooh, let's go. Like, you know me, that the Mando show was one of the first shows out of the pandemic that was like on Disney Plus, and it was the first Star Wars show I think they did. And Season 1 was just interesting because we were like, oh, who's this bounty hunter? And then all of a sudden he meets this little green-eared Grogu looking motherfucker that touches fingers with him, and everyone was like, oh, is it Baby Yoda? Baby Yoda! Like, and everyone went crazy, and then they finally had to give the thing a name because they were like, we can't just have them calling this thing Baby Yoda. It's not Baby Yoda. Yoda is a different character. And so I still call him Baby Yoda, but his name is Grogu, and he's adorable. So the Mandalorian looks awesome. It's just, the trailer looks great. The Tales of the Jedi looks great too. I think that's it for Star Wars stuff. Oh, they gave a first look at Ahsoka. I wonder if I can pull that picture there for you guys. As Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, she looks stellar in the orange face makeup. Really brings the life out of an adult Ahsoka. I think that's it for Star Wars. There's a live action Assassin's Creed coming to Netflix. That got announced. Now let's get into some Marvel stuff. Werewolf by Night. It had been rumored for a long time, but it finally got announced, and it's finally here. And they gave us a quick little 1.5-minute trailer. Check out that trailer, guys, for the Werewolf by Night. Michael Giacchino, the guy that scored the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman. And if you guys know the score from that movie, that movie might be my favorite movie of the year, just because of the score. Bum 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 bum. Like, oh, like that for like weeks after that movie came out. My head, the only thing I could think that whole movie was Nirvana, and bum 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 bum. Something's in the way. Yeah, something in the way, yeah. Like, oh man. Oh, still now, I'm like, I gotta go watch that. But, so, back to Marvel stuff. But Michael Giacchino is the guy that is the composer for the Batman. He composed, writ, and directed the Werewolf by Night, as far as I know. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to give you guys the facts as I know them, and trying to do it in a quick-ish matter so that this video is not 2 hours long. You're gonna try and chunk it into a little one for you, so bear with me here, folks. Werewolf by Night trailer, though, is all in black and white, and it's spooky, and it comes out October 7th, so it should be like right after She-Hulk ends, we're gonna get, like, I think it might just be one episode or one, like, short or like a half hour or like an hour thing. I'd be curious to know more about it. But Werewolf by Night, the title screen kind of looked like Moon Knight. I'm gonna try and pull up pictures and stuff for you guys if I can. If not, bear with me. But hopefully you guys followed along this weekend and saw all the Marvel and Disney Plus and all the posts too, if you guys are into that kind of thing. Some of you guys might just be here for the sport. Some of you guys might just be watching because you got nothing better to do. Hey, and if you are, I appreciate you. If you're a fan of me, I appreciate you guys for clicking on the video and staying as long as you do. If you stay till the end of this video, though, you an OG and you were part of the Big Cam army, and yeah, you're an OG. Don't let anyone fuck with you. So Werewolf by Night looks cool. That's gonna be like a Halloween special for us. Secret Invasion dropped a trailer, 2-minute trailer. We didn't know too much about this show. I'm not sure when it's dropping, but it looks like the Skrulls Secret Invasion trailer, D23 footage opens with Rhodey telling Fury he's known about the Skrulls for 15 years when the Pentagon brought him into a program. Ooh. So that was in the footage at D23. They showed exclusive footage for them for most of the things, and then they dropped trailers for some of the things for us. Just like they did for Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. They dropped a ton of stuff. That was back in August, I think, a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago even. And they dropped a bunch of stuff then, but the stuff they dropped at the Comic-Con, they didn't drop it. They dropped different stuff now. They announced a whole bunch of stuff then, but they knew they had D23 coming, so they were like, they didn't want to make it the same show. They did announce a couple of the same things, maybe a couple slightly different trailers and stuff like that, but for the most part, the stuff that they released at D23 that had footage, they released to us, and if they didn't, it was a couple things that they showed footage just to the audience members, like Echo's with Maya Lopez. I don't remember the actress's real name. Sorry to her, but she plays Echo in Hawkeye, and that her story is pretty much, I think, going to continue from Hawkeye, because the last time we seen her in Kingpin in Hawkeye, she shoots Kingpin in the face. So apparently in the trailer that they showed at D23, they showed the Kingpin with an eye patch on, so he's alive, he's not dead, he got shot in the face, and he's like, oh, I'm cool, my bad, you know. So there's that. And then as they announced, the Echo, Vincent D'Onofrio that plays Kingpin, stayed on stage and jokes and was like, it's, don't you mean my show? And then from the back you hear Charlie Cox's Daredevil's voice come in and go, no, I think you mean my show. And then they announced Daredevil Born Again with a new logo with it says Daredevil Born Again with the DD in the background, the traditional Daredevil DD in the background. So maybe we'll end up seeing the OG DD suit back in this one. But we are going to get Mr. Charlie Cox's Daredevil in She-Hulk. She-Hulk, I think, is halfway through, or 4 or 5 episodes out of 9. And She-Hulk is getting great. Tatiana Maslany, this whole episode was about her dating and how Tatiana Maslany was getting no swipes, but She-Hulk was getting swipes. And then she finally, she goes on a couple dates. They were all garbage, terrible people. And then she goes on one date that she's finally into the dude. The dude's listening to her. He's nice. He's a doctor. He's cool. And they hook up. They hook up as her as She-Hulk, and then in the morning she's back as Jen. She's standing in an overgrown shirt, and she's watching news, and she made breakfast for the dude, and the dude walks out and goes, who are you? And because he only knows her as She-Hulk, so she's like, well, I'm Jen, just normal Jen, I know. I made breakfast. And the dude's like, I gotta go. I'm gonna say this plainly and clearly for everyone that needs to know. Nobody is not swiping on Tatiana Maslany. And nobody is sleeping with She-Hulk and then waking up in the morning to Tatiana Maslany and being like, oh my god, I have to go. This bitch is not who I thought she was. Like, get the fuck out of here. if anything, it's the best of both worlds. You get this gorgeous green She-Hulk lady that can beat the fuck out of anybody, and then you get this gorgeous lawyer that's kicking ass in the courtroom. Jennifer Walters, Tatiana Maslany, is the baddie of the week. I'm gonna put a picture right here. Tatiana Maslany, hit me up, DM me. You're gorgeous. Don't DM me. You're married. I understand. It's fine. Either way, you're fucking flawless. You're the baddie of the week, and I can't wait to see more of She-Hulk. She-Hulk ends with Titania trademarking Hulk, the She-Hulk name, and suing Jen for using it. And Jen's like, it's my name. How is she suing me? So I'm gonna like to see how that shows up in court. But we've seen pretty much all the cameos we think that are gonna happen in the show. I think we're missing Frogman and we're missing Daredevil, and I'm assuming that's gonna be in the next 2 episodes or next episode. Which I think is 5, which means we would have 4 more after that. So bear with me here, because if next week is the mid-season point and we get Daredevil, then we know everything that happened in the trailers in the first 5 episodes. So now, what are the last 5 episodes about that they kept a secret and they didn't show us, and it's craziness. So I don't know. I think the last 5 episodes might lead into like a Thunderbolts or something like that, and we're gonna continue here with what they announced, because they did announce quite a lot. So they announced Daredevil, Born Again. That's gonna start shooting, begin production in 2023. Kevin Feige confirms Matt Shakman, the director of WandaVision, he's now directing Fantastic Four, but has no other announcements coming today. So that means they had probably news, maybe some casting information, maybe some other information. Obviously, a lot of the stuff they don't have trailers for because it hasn't started shooting yet. Some of the stuff they don't even have a cast for yet. They barely had a director for Fantastic Four. So Matt Shakman, I think, will do a great job. He did a great job on WandaVision. Definitely has a attention to detail, so I like that kind of stuff. So I'm here for it. Fantastic Four is, I think, beginning of 2024, so we're a little bit of ways on that. We got some time. This is some big news. So from the Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton's Hulk, Tim Blake Nelson, the guy that plays Buster Scruggs, the guy that played Mr. Blue in Incredible Hulk, he is coming back in Captain America New World Order as the leader, which is, I think, some guy with a big brain. Not MODOK, I don't believe. I don't think they're related. They do have the same similar brain shit. But MODOK's more of like a flying head. And MODOK, I found out the other day, stands for like something killing, machine of something killing. It's an acronym. MODOK is an acronym for something. If I wasn't retarded, I could tell you right now, but sorry. But so Tim Blake Nelson will be returning. So they're bringing back pretty much everybody. They already brought Abomination back in She-Hulk from Edward Norton. So the only person they didn't bring back from the Edward Norton's Hulk universe was Edward Norton. So now they're doing the multiverse saga stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. You heard it here first. This is pretty out there prediction. I don't think they're gonna do it, but if they do, you heard it here first. At the end of the She-Hulk season, there's gonna be a multiverse crossover, and you're gonna see Edward Norton's Hulk. Bam! You heard it here first. If we don't see him, maybe we see Tim Blake Nelson as the leader, and we see the first look at him. Because the last time we seen him, a bit of he made the Abomination in Incredible Hulk, and a bit of Bruce's blood dripped on him, and his brain started tweaking out, and he started smiling, and he was like, ah. So yeah, that's a little creepy, but it is what it is. Also returning from Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain whatever. Oh, sorry guys, we reached a time limit there, so I don't know where it got cut off, but so Carl Lumley will be returning as Isaiah Bradley for Captain America New World Order. Danny Ramirez, handsome fellow, is going to be returning from the same show, but he's going to be now the new Falcon. So just like the comics, they're going to make Danny Ramirez's character the new Falcon. And that show, New World Order, is going to be, or then that movie, Captain America New World Order, is going to be tackling conspiracy theories and things that are crazy. And if you guys remember from that Falcon and Winter Soldier show, Danny Ramirez's character goes to Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie goes, hey, where is Steve Rogers? People say he's on the moon. So, and that was kind of, I think, a joke about the video game, Avengers video game, where you find Captain America on the moon. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they try and get Chris Evans, Captain America, back, and maybe he's on the moon. Maybe things went wrong. And now we're starting to figure out how things went wrong when he left Endgame and brought those stones back. I know to Chris Evans, that's a great way for him to end his story. He goes back and lives a normal life with Peggy and gets his dance and finally gets to dance with her to that beautiful music. And, you know, that's the end of his story. He gives the shield to Sam, bam, story over. I think that's not good enough, because I love Captain America. If you can't tell, I got Captain America's shield on my goddamn kneecap. You know, so I sat through friggin' 5-6 hours of tattooing for Captain America. So, Captain America's my boy. I got a Captain America fuck shirt on. What's up? Like, Captain America does fuck. He fucked Peggy, at least. If he was a virgin before then, he fucked Peggy when he went back. Okay? But I think Captain America was laying down the pipe. Mostly because Black Widow's a whore, and she definitely was giving it up. So, moving on. They also announced I don't know if it's a full team roster, or at least a partial team roster of the Thunderbolts. I would like to see more. But they released a picture of the Thunderbolts as well. I wonder if I can get that picture for you guys. Maybe. I'll see if I can get that picture for you guys. But they got Yelena, Red Guardian, Bucky, Ghost, Taskmaster, Val, and U.S. Agent. So they got, you know, Julia Louis-Dreyfus back. They got Wyatt Russell. They got David Arbor, Florence Pugh. They got Sebastian Stan. So that's going to be a fun movie. I think that's going to be like an Avengers if they really suck and they can't get along. At least at first. Maybe by the end of the movie they'll start to get along. But Kevin Feige described that team as a ragtag bunch. So I don't know how good that bunch is going to meld together and work as a team. I don't know if they'll be real Avengers-esque per se. But we'll see. They didn't announce Zemo with that, and I really thought that Zemo was going to be there, and I think he still might be. Just maybe he has a bigger role. Maybe he's the big villain again. Maybe he's, I don't know. Maybe he's on the team roster and they just didn't name him. We'll see. They announced that Ant-Man 3 Quantumania leads directly into Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. There was also The Santa Clauses, a Tim Allen returning as the Santa Claus came out. Avatar 4 has just begun filming. So Avatar 2 comes out in December. Avatar 3 is apparently in post-production, and they're beginning Avatar 4 filming already. So 2's not out, and they're beginning 4. That's a man that knows what he's doing. Freaking James Cameron, what's up? And then the next day, the last day, they announced at the Avengers campus, they will debut a new ride that focuses on the multiverse, and it's going to have King Thanos. If I can bring this picture up with any type of detail, King Thanos looks like a bad motherfucker. I'm going to try and put the picture here for you. King Thanos from that ride looks crazy. And then if I can get this group picture too, it looks like there's Moon Knight, there's Tom Holland Spider-Man, looks like there's an Iron Man, there's a Daredevil, there's Shuri Okoye, Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Sam Wilson, America Chavez, Peggy Carter's Captain America. It looks like there's a Hulk, and then there looks like there's Sakaar Hulk behind him. There's She-Hulk in front of them. Jane Foster, who's that? Looks like maybe Hawkeye, maybe Black Panther. Looks like Werewolf by Night, Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel, Thor, and then it looks like you got Hydra Stomper, Steve Rogers from Captain Carter's universe, and then they also have the animated freshman year Spider-Man in this picture. So, and then at the bottom they have a roller coaster. So it's going to be a roller coaster where King Thanos is the main villain and he has won. I don't think it has anything to do with the MCU, but I think it's going to be a badass roller coaster, and it will debut at Avengers Campus. It's a new ride. It will include villains and heroes we met before and new characters. So, yeah, people we know, people we don't know, and they're making. I saw that they're going to be expanding like a whole section, and that's at the California Disney World, I think, and not the Florida one, the California one for sure. They're going to be doing all this, so that looks cool. Maybe I'll have to take a trip out to Cali for you, and go with Langone maybe, and see some roller coasters. Maybe film that trip and see how it goes. But we've talked sports, we talked She-Hulk, we talked D23. Let's talk Raising Kanan. That came out with a new episode yesterday. That's at the midway season point for season 2. Things are getting real spicy. The Italians are on Rock's tail. They're tailing her. Rock takes Kanan and her camping out in the woods. Kanan's flirting up this white girl, Hannah. Rock's like, don't you talk to them white girls, they're gonna get you killed. But what she's really saying is, hey, I think that Italian motherfucker was there to kill you, and motherfucker, you better be ready to rock and roll, because we are in the middle of nowhere and we gotta learn how to defend ourselves. But the two Italians that are following them out in the woods, they're trying to kill Rock for entering the territory into New Jersey and not paying the fine or the fee. And Rock was like, fuck you, I ain't paying shit, motherfucker. Like, so Rock was asking for the heat from the Italians, but I would rather have heat from the cops than another mob gang members, to be perfectly honest. Like, cops are easier to deal with. You know, you lawyer up. Like, you fucking can't lawyer up against Italians. You got a gun up. You got a ball up, buck up, talk to them. You got to learn. You got to do something. But wow, like it is. So it is some wild stuff. But so that they end up going to a certain point, and they get Kanan, and they get so the Italians move in on Rock in the woods, and he's in the house and he's walking around with the gun. He's like looking. All of a sudden, Rock comes up behind him with a knife, and she's like, I could kill you right now, motherfucker. Who the hell are you? Fucking Kanan was told not to go see that white girl. Of course, goes and sees the white girl. As he's talking to the white girl, the other Italian dude, one of them goes to kill Rock. That was the head one. The other Italian dude was a racist douchebag motherfucker. And, you know, just because Kanan was talking to a white girl, he looks at the white girl and he's like, if I was your father, I would have you in your room for 15 years. And she was like, well, you're not my dad. You're a fucking douche. And then she walks away. I was like, good. Tell him how it is, because that guy was a fucking douche with his big ass fucking nose. Fuck that guy. He played that character extra douchey with a little side of douche on top of the douche. So it was too much douche for me. I was not having it. But as Rock's getting knifed to the throat to the other Italian dude was told not to go after Kanan. Of course he goes after Kanan. He starts beating up Kanan, throwing him around. Hannah runs, smart girl, runs to Rock and goes, he's trying to kill Kanan. So Rock stabs the dude real quick and runs to go protect her baby. Runs in the house. The dude has a gun, so Rock has a knife. That guy could have shot Rock, turned back around, shot Kanan, but the dude's pussy, right? He's fighting Kanan. So Rock comes running in. She's about to stab the dude, and his own partner shoots him in the leg or arm or shoulder or something. Shoots his own partner, because his own partner was about to shoot Kanan or Rock, right? So instead of killing the two people that he showed up to kill, because Rock didn't kill him, he shoots his partner because his partner was in the wrong too. So there's this weird, like, and then Rock turns, looks at the main Italian dude and goes, hey, tell your boss we're going to have a deal, but you ain't killing my son. We're walking out of here. We're going home. And then both Italian dudes goes, what about her? And she goes, she ain't talking to nobody, right? You ain't gonna talk to nobody, Hannah, will you, white girl? You ain't gonna talk to nobody, because if you do, my peoples and his peoples will take care of your peoples. You understand? And she's like, like, she's just like, oh God, I just wanted to hook up with Kanan, my first black dude in the woods. Like, so, and then, right, so Kanan finds out, you know, that his mom's she's there for him, but she's also a gangster. So he's like, normal mom and like, I've never gone camping with my mom. They went camping, and they're from the city. They would have never gone camping. He was like, Ma, you hated going camping. But what they were really there for was to bury the body that was in their closet, and it was stinking out the joint. So Marvin had to take it out of there, put the body in the trunk, get the body, and they had to go bury a body out in the middle of the woods. So like, that's why they were really there, and she just disguised it as this whole thing, as Kane and her being together, and she really just wanted to pick his brain and just see where his head was at. And, you know, he's getting to a point where she was like, all this is for you, Kane, and I know you maybe not want it. He looks at it and goes, I want it, Mom. So, like, I don't know, the rest of the season, I don't know how it goes. I see maybe Rock dying, because we know how it ends up. We know how Kanan ends up with Ghost and Tommy, so I'm curious to see if we'll maybe see a young Ghost and Tommy like we did, or like Power would have been beforehand. Because we see them all grown up as like full kingpins in the season 1 of Power, with grown-up Tommy, grown-up Ghost, and then Kanan's in jail. We don't even see him till maybe end of season 1, season 2, season 3-ish. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't watched Power in a little bit. If you guys want me to start a Power rewatch, let me know. But yeah, so midway through season 2 of Kanan, Raising Kanan, I'm really enjoying that show. Let me know down below if you guys are watching that as too, and if you want me to continue to cover the second half of this season. Game of Thrones, I'm midway through season 3 on my rewatch of Game of Thrones, and I really like that show, man. The first time I watched it, I could have sworn there was a lot more porn in it. Just felt like everyone was fucking constantly, and there is a bit of porn in the show always. Like even in House of the Dragon, there's always just nudity and graphic shit constantly. But that's kind of why people like the show, because it's just like so unlike anything else you'd see on TV. Because like right where most shows would cut and not show it, Game of Thrones like shows it then cuts. And it's like, oh god, we really thought we could have, you know, got 2 and 2 when the blade comes up and slices the neck. We could have, you know, got another cut with just like a body falling and a head falling the other direction, and they were both blurred in the background. You saw somebody being like, oh, you know, like we could have understood what happened. But Game of Thrones is like, nope, keep it there, chop off the head, show the blood, then cut to the person going like this, you know, like, and you're like, oh, so you see all the brutal, like when somebody's about to get stabbed, they show it, they show the stabbing, they don't just like go, and then it cuts to behind him, and you see like a fake sword go through an armpit, and the guy's like, I'm dead. Like, there's none of that. It's really like, if this guy's dying, he's got a splinter in his neck, and there's blood coming out his mouth and the neck, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna die, and then he dies in front of everybody, and everybody just sits there and goes, well, that guy died. Well, next? Who's next? And it's like, do I want to go next after that? That guy just died doing this shit I'm about to do. So, some wild shit. But, Denise Targaryen, she is now on a rampage. She's ready to become queen. She's ready to rock and roll. She's got her dragons. She is now mother of dragons. She's the unburnt. At the end of season 1, she has her babies. And then season 2, she ends up venturing around. I think season 2 is mostly about Tyrion and Bronn. Tyrion, played by Peter Dinklage, is by far my favorite character, other than Bronn. Because Bronn has never, like, if you guys remember the show, I'll put a picture here of Bronn and Tyrion. Bronn is the man. Like, Bronn never had a single scene in this show where he's not the man. You know, like, every scene I've seen him in so far, up into the halfway through season 3. Yeah, he wasn't in season 1 and shit, but, like, every scene Bronn's in is he's a stud. He is so cool. He is every character like wants to be like Braun, and they're just not like Braun. I think I aspire to be Braun in real life, but it is what it is. But Jaime Lannister is captured by the Starks, and Lady Catelyn takes that big woman knight. What is her name? Lady something. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. Brienne of Tarth, Lady Brienne, big ass Lady Brienne is a badass warrior, but she is a woman, so she gets treated poorly by men, of course, in this terrible realm, and she's supposed to be taking the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister, and as she's taking them, they get caught by these dudes in the woods, and the dudes from the woods take them somewhere to another castle. But the dudes from the woods don't like that Jaime Lannister thinks he's so smart and giving him sass. So the dude cuts off Jaime Lannister's sword hand, his wielding hand, cuts off his hand and makes him wear it around his neck like a necklace. Oh, so brutal. So brutal. God. And then, right, so then the episode I was on ends with Dany Targaryen freeing the Unsullied army from the whip, and the Unsullied are like, we'll fight for you, bitch. Like, you freed us, and we have a choice to be free men or fighters. We're choosing to fight for you. And she kills that friggin' stupid douche that was talking shit to her. She offers to give him a dragon, but she really understood the shit he was saying. Like, he had a translator the whole time, and she like was responding to the translator, which I think the translator is the girl that was in the girl that was like the computer wizard in one of the Fast and Furious movies, ends up being with Ludacris because they're both computer people. She's hot. Either way, so the servant keeps like censoring what the dude's saying in English to Dany, and then at the end of it all, like, finally he gets the dragon, and he's like, bitch, tell her that this dragon won't listen. Dragons don't listen to assholes, or whatever the fuck she says, and she goes, and he's like, what? And then the dragon burns him, like, and the dragon's just growing. The dragon's not even a full fucking dragon yet. The dragon's still like a puppy, for example, and it's still like, a baby. It's like barely grown at all, but it's like still big as fuck. It's like flapping its wings. It's ready to fly, and yeah. So I'm excited to get back into that. My rewatch of Game of Thrones came to a screeching halt when 2K came out, because now I'm trying to play that game and get the story mode done, because I really like the single player My Career mode. Like, I'm not really there for the park. I'm kind of there for my team, just because 2K does it right, and they give you pretty much anybody. They might not right away, but 2K comes out with so many packs that you end up being able to play and make your roster out of anybody you want. Like, I'm pretty sure my last year's 2K roster was something like Shaq at the 5, Diamond Jason Tatum at the 4, MJ or Kobe at the 3, MJ at the 2, and then I like had Steph at the 1 with like a different point guards rotating out, and then like my bench was stacked too, like Tracy McGrady, Yao Ming as my backup center, Hakeem Olajuwon playing power forward. Like, there's no reason Hakeem the Dream should be playing power forward ever. And then like backup centers, I have like KG and like but like all my favorite players I get to put on my roster, and those are the guys I play with. They even have versions of the players you want. Like, you could get a Derrick Rose that's still on the Knicks or whatever team he's on nowadays, and he'll have his 70 overall rating or whatever it is now. Or even like Russell Westbrook on the Lakers, he's like a 78 overall. Nobody wants that as their starting lineup. But if your favorite player is Russ, they'll have a version of Russell Westbrook that is number 0 on the Thunder Russ when he was a rookie, and they'll have him a 99. So like, they'll have Derrick Rose on the Bulls, winning MVP. That's my favorite Derrick Rose. The Bulls Derrick Rose, number 1 Derrick Rose. Oh, that was such an era. Jimmy Butler was on that team too, number 22. That was a bad Bulls team. Well, not bad like as in bad, like bad as in, ooh, that's a bad man. Ooh, mama, come get that man. Oh, man. But very spicy stuff happening in Game of Thrones. I'm very happy to be rewatching that. And then House of the Dragon. We'll finish it up here with House of the Dragon. The new episode for House of the Dragon last night, episode 4, was badass. Let me see if they did something. Daemon, the start of this episode, the end of last episode, Daemon was covered in blood. He had long hair. He killed the crab feeder. So at the beginning of this episode, he comes back to the king's castle, and he walks right up in there, and they're like, he returns on dragon, and everyone's like, this guy got banished from this place. Why is he back? What is he going to do? Everyone's like sitting there in suspense, like, what is he going to do? He just comes waltzing into the king's chambers. Everybody's standing there silent. He walks up. The king's guards pull swords on Daemon. Daemon walks right up with his chest armor on and just lets it poke him. And he's just like, looks at the king, holds the crab feeder's sword and just drops it and goes, add it to the throne. Add it to the iron throne, motherfucker. And pretty much just looks at him and like, yeah, bitch, like, what you gonna do? And Viserys, if he was like a demon king, like he was the mad king, he probably would have just killed Daemon, and just like out of a sign of disrespect and as a sign of like, hey, I banished you, peace off. But Viserys' worst qualities and his best qualities is that he's caring, and that he like cares about shit that he's doing, and like cares about the people that are around him, and that he wants peace. He doesn't want war. And Daemon's like, I will kill anybody that fucks with us. I will bring Targaryen to the rules that we should be. And Daemon is off his rocker. So he cuts his hair this episode. He's named King of the Narrow Sea by the people around the crab feeder area and by the sea snake, and House Valerian over there. So House Valerian, Corlys, the black guy with white hair that's married to Viserys' sister, the queen that never was, they offered up their 12-year-old daughter for marriage to the king last episode. That was a little creepy. But then the Hand offers, right when they're talking about Rhaenyra's marriage, Rhaenyra needs to marry somebody so that the king and the throne and the Targaryen family have power in their household names. So she has to marry, not because she wants to. Like in last episode, Daenerys was trying to get Rhaenyra to marry the love of her life, go out, find your own. He's setting up, displays for her so she can go out and see a line of people that are offering their hand in marriage, and she gets to pick who she wants. So she finally has some type of power over her life, and she's just like, I don't want any of these fucking stooges. And she's basically doesn't choose any of them, and the king is not so happy about that because he went through a lot of effort to get those guys to offer their hands to marriage for their daughter and the new queen after Viserys. So that tone from marry who you want to I'm now commanding you to marry as your king because of political standings, because Corlys Velaryon offers their daughter marry the Stepstones or something, one of those places, don't quote me on it, but they offer their daughter to marry someone else that will strengthen the sea snake in the Velaryon house that they are. They'll be strong if the Targaryens don't marry also into that family to make them part of that family, so now they'll all be strong and stronger and not be weaker than them if they don't marry. So I really want Rhaenyra to marry Sir Criston Cole, her knight that gets in a lot of trouble this episode. Not a lot of trouble because nobody knows yet, but he's going to get in trouble. If you wait for one of these next episodes, I think Mr. Criston Cole, unless Rhaenyra keeps her lips shut, I think Mr. Criston Cole is going to be in a lot of trouble. Because her and Daemon, right, because she has to marry, and she's like, she just wants to be free. She doesn't want to be a queen. She just wants to be treated like a normal person. So Daemon leaves her boys' clothes and leaves her a drawing on where the secret door is in her room, so that she can escape her room without the guard standing at the door, Mr. Criston Cole. So she escapes out the back in boys' clothes and goes and finds Daemon, and her and Daemon go tramping through the town as normal people, hoods on. People are calling her boy, and she's like blending in almost like Arya Stark does in season 2 and season 3. of Game of Thrones. So she's, she's walking around, she's enjoying it. She goes to take food, like she can just eat whatever she wants. Damon's like, hey, down here, you gotta pay for that shit. She fucking throws it at the guy and runs away, gets chased down by Damon. A guard goes, Rhaenyra, what the hell are you doing? She goes, he sees Damon and just goes, yeah, walk along, boy. Yeah, maybe next time won't be so easy. And she like gets let go. Damon's like just nods and keeps walking. But then Damon brings her to a brothel and a pleasure lounge, and she finally gets to see like some real kinky, gory sex. Some shit that's like, wow, okay, calm it back, dial it back a little bit. But she's also, young, so she hasn't necessarily like been doing this stuff herself. And Damon's like, listen, we're kings and queens. This is where you go to take what you want. Like this is a pleasure place. Like, sex is pleasurable. It's not like Alicent Hightower in The King, where she just pretty much lays there and lets the king do whatever he wants with his decrepit, deteriorating body. Like, you could see the king every episode. He's got 2 black nub fingers. He's lost his fingers. He's got welts all over his body. Like, the throne is destroying King Viserys, and just holding the throne and being king is killing him by the episode. So I don't think he's gonna last very long. He's looking real hurt. And Alicent, bathes her king, is very nice to the king, does what she's supposed to do as a queen, but she's just miserable. She's all alone. She has no friends. She's starting to drink like Cersei, just finding her friend at the bottom of the bottle. And it is tough to see. But Alicent Hightower and Rhaenyra, we only get 1 episode of these actors, Millie Alcock, and I don't know the other actress's name, but we get 1 more episode of them as this character. And then after episode 5, and in the second half of the season, they age up a little bit. So we get 2 new actresses playing those characters. Same characters, but they're going to be aged up. So whatever happens this next episode with the, I think they're going to marry Rhaenyra to Lord Corlys' son, Laenor Balerion. So they're going to marry, and she's pretty much like, not even a question anymore. The king's like, hey, you're going to marry them because I'm telling you to, because your king demands it, and it's just got to happen. So they're going to marry, and that's where we're going to end up next episode. So, and the king tells Rhaenyra about the secret of the knife, so she has to be the one to pass down to the Targaryens for generations the story of this knife and the Song of Ice and Fire and the hidden message in the blade. So, and I think the hidden message is about Jon Snow and the something, the person that's important. But I think that's going to do it here. I think I'm running close to an hour. Covered a lot of stuff today. Covered D23, covered She-Hulk, covered Raising Kanan, covered my rewatch of Game of Thrones, covered my House of Dragons content. So let me know. Covered video games, 2K, covered all the D23 Expo updates, covered the NFL season, how week 1 of the NFL is looking. So yeah. I'm having fun doing these, guys. We'll have episode 4 next week. We'll continue our Game of Thrones rewatch. We'll continue House of the Dragon, Raising Kanan, She-Hulk, because that's going on right now. Comment below if you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making these for you. Talking my shit, doing what I gotta do. I'm almost out of time here, so peace out, guys. I love you. Comment below. My links for my social medias will be in the description down below. Subscribe if you're new. Episode 3 or 4 of episode 3 of Comically Boston. Thank you guys very much. Like this down below. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, y'all.